Yes, but with honest limits. Guided meditation for sleep works mainly by lowering pre-sleep arousal, the mental and physical alertness that keeps you awake. Randomized trials show real, moderate benefits to sleep quality. It is best treated as a helpful adjunct, not a cure, and not a replacement for first-line care like CBT-I. There is a quiet trap in the question, does guided meditation for sleep work? And it is the word work. Most people mean, will this voice in my headphones knock me out the way a sleeping pill does? When it does not, they decide meditation is not for them and go back to scrolling. That is the wrong test. Guided meditation does not sedate you. It works on the thing actually keeping you awake, which is rarely a lack of tiredness and almost always too much arousal. After you lie down, your mind is still busy and your body is still a little switched on. A calm, guided voice gives that busy mind a slow, neutral thing to follow instead of tomorrow's problems. And as your attention settles, the alert system that was holding sleep off starts to stand down. So the honest answer is yes, with limits. The research shows real, measurable benefits, and it also shows they are moderate rather than miraculous. Knowing exactly where the line sits is what makes guided meditation genuinely useful, instead of one more thing that disappoints you at 2 a.m. How does guided meditation help you fall asleep? It helps by lowering pre-sleep arousal, the mental and physical alertness that keeps you awake after you lie down. Sleep researchers describe insomnia largely as a state of hyperarousal, an overactive stress and alertness system that does not power down on schedule. That arousal comes in two flavors. Cognitive arousal is the racing thoughts, the worry, the replaying of the day. Somatic arousal is the physical side, a faster heart rate and a body that will not go slack. A guided meditation works on both. The mechanism is simpler than it sounds. Your racing mind runs on your attention as fuel. When a steady voice hands that attention a clear, harmless task to follow, notice the breath, soften the jaw, feel the weight of the legs, the worry loop runs short of fuel and quiets. As the cognitive noise drops, the body's parasympathetic system, the rest and digest counterweight to fight or flight, gets room to take over. Heart rate eases, muscles let go, and the physiological brakes that sleep needs finally come on. This is a well-supported model rather than a single proven switch. The drop in arousal is real and measured. The exact chain from attention occupied to asleep is the best current explanation, not a settled fact. What does the evidence actually say? The honest version is more useful than the hype, so here it is. In a randomized controlled trial of 54 adults with chronic insomnia, participants were assigned to a mindfulness program or to simple self-monitoring. The meditation groups cut their total wake time by about 44 minutes from baseline, while the control group barely moved. Just as telling, their score on the pre-sleep arousal scale dropped by about 7 points where the control groups did not budge, which is the mechanism showing up directly in the data. The insomnia-specific version of the program reached the strongest long-term results, with a 78.6% response rate at follow-up. A separate randomized trial in older adults with moderate sleep trouble compared a 6-week mindfulness program against standard sleep hygiene education. The meditation group improved significantly more on the Pittsburgh Sleep Quality Index, a between-group difference of 1.8 points with a moderate to large effect size, and also saw gains in insomnia symptoms, fatigue, and depression. In short, the people learning to settle their minds slept better than the people simply being told good sleep habits. Now the limits, because they matter. These trials are small, in the dozens rather than the thousands. Most of them test full multi-week mindfulness programs taught by an instructor, not a single bedtime recording. So guided meditation evidence is often really mindfulness program evidence. And the benefits, while real, are moderate. This lowers arousal and improves how people sleep and feel about their sleep. It does not erase insomnia. That is exactly why the American Academy of Sleep Medicine names CBT-I, cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, as the strongly recommended first-line treatment for chronic insomnia, while relaxation and mindfulness approaches sit on a smaller, less established evidence base. The practical translation: if you have the occasional restless night, guided meditation is an excellent thing to reach for. If you cannot sleep most nights for months, treat it as something that sits alongside proper care and talk to a doctor or sleep specialist. This article is educational and is not medical advice. Is guided better than meditating on your own? For sleep specifically, being guided has a real practical edge, even though no strong head-to-head trial settles it. The problem with leading your own meditation in bed is that you are doing two opposite jobs at once. You are the instructor, deciding what to focus on next and keeping track of where you are, and you are also the person trying to let go and drift off. Those pull against each other. Every time you have to decide what now, you re-engage the very thinking mind you are trying to quiet. A guide removes the first job entirely. You are not steering, just following, which is far less mentally effortful when you are already tired. The voice also gives wandering attention a place to keep returning to, so a drifting mind has somewhere to land instead of falling back into worry. That is the honest case for guided audio at bedtime. Not that it is scientifically superior, but that it asks less of you at the exact moment you have the least to give. How to actually use it tonight. Guided meditation rewards being set up right. A few small things separate a session that helps from one that frustrates you. 1. Set up to sleep, not to study. Lie down, lights off, headphones or a low speaker. Unlike a daytime mindfulness class where staying awake is the goal, here drifting off mid-session is the goal. You are allowed to fall asleep before it ends. 2. Pick a session that matches your problem. If your mind is racing, choose something that gives attention a steady anchor, like a breath or body focus. If your body feels wired and tense, a longer, slower wind-down session does more. Match the tool to whether your arousal is mostly in your head or your body. 3. Drop the goal of falling asleep. This is the counterintuitive one. Trying to fall asleep adds pressure, and pressure is arousal. Aim only to follow the voice and rest. Sleep is allowed to be a side effect, not the assignment. 4. Let your mind wander, then come back. It will drift within seconds. That is not failure, it is the practice. Notice you have wandered, return to the voice, repeat. Every return is a rep, and the returning is the part that lowers arousal. 5. Make it a habit, not a rescue. A single session can settle you tonight, but the measured improvements in the research came from weeks of regular practice. Treat it as a nightly wind down, not an emergency tool you only reach for when you are already wide awake and frustrated. The hardest moment in all of this is the start, when you are lying in the dark trying to lead yourself and let go at the same time. The simplest fix is to stop leading. Let a calm, guided voice take that job. Downshift the busy, alert part of your mind, and walk your attention somewhere quiet while you do nothing but listen and drift. That is the short version. The full, sourced article and a free guided session to try tonight are linked in the description. Rest well.